Late Middle Ages in Forge of Empires. Before I research the first technology of the late Middle Ages, I first fill both available technologies, crane and biology, with forge points. This is a proven strategy at the beginning of each age to reduce the time of already receiving opponents of the next age but still not having access to these new military units. Then the moment has come. The 6th age has been reached. We receive a reward and some new elements are enabled immediately. These are mainly premium buildings which only can be built using diamonds. But you can play very good without these premium buildings. I recommend to use diamonds for other tasks, especially as these premium buildings are only average in the next stage. Everything else will be added along with the new researches in the technology tree. If you are lucky to find the deposits of Basalt Rock and Soapstone, as shown in the video, you can leave out the research of Metal Working and Aristocracy. At the end of the late Middle Ages, there is a quest requiring that you research all technologies. You can abort this quest, but the reward are diamonds. If you want them, you have to invest these forge points. The Brass Foundry and the Basalt Mason are bigger buildings, 4x4 instead of 3x3. Therefore, brass combines all disadvantages as it requires more space and needs separate research. This makes brass unpopular, with the result that it is offered much less in the market than all other goods of the late Middle Ages. The research of the new technologies alone, not including expenses for new buildings and military units, requires 1072 forge points, 155,000 coins and 427,500 supplies. Those who receive their forge points from the town hall only need 1.5 months for the research. On top, you need a lot of goods. If you followed my advice to keep goods production buildings of previous ages until you have a stock of 300 each, you will not have a problem with the requirements. Those who still need these goods better should stay a bit longer in the High Middle Ages to work on that stock. This way it is much easier to be successful in the guild expedition every week. Nobody wants to get stuck in the middle of the late Middle Ages research. At the end of the late Middle Ages technology tree, you will also need goods from the late Middle Ages. You can either trade them in the market or conquer the provinces with the goods deposits fast so that you can build both good production buildings early. This also completes a couple of quests. You will notice that along with the research, you will receive 5 expansions. 2 more expansions you can buy with diamonds and 3 more you will receive for conquering the related provinces. Your city can grow a lot in the late Middle Ages. Initially, the city looks the same as in the High Middle Ages. The red roofs of the High Middle Ages will be replaced slowly by the black roofs of the late Middle Ages. The great buildings of the late Middle Ages are St. Basil's Cathedral and Castel del Monte. The Castel del Monte is my absolute favorite building. For the weekly success in the guild expedition, this is as necessary as the statue of Zeus and the Cathedral of Aachen. On top, this great building also provides forge points every day. What else do you want? St. Basil's Cathedral improves the attack and defense values of those units defending your city, increases the guild GVG support pool and provides coins every day. Usually An active player is not in an urgent need for points. Therefore, a great building must excel by other properties. Compared to an observatory, the effect of the guild support pool is relatively small. The effect on the city defense is significant. No city is undefeatable, but if you really want to make a plunderer's life a bit harder, the benefits of this building show effect as much as the Deal Castle does. But I never built one of these two buildings. The space and the forge points I better use for other great buildings. It is cheaper to accept that occasionally a plunderer might be successful. In the High Middle Ages, all residential buildings have been replaced by townhouses. These remain long in the Late Middle Ages. Very late in the technology tree, the apartment house can be researched. Replacing all residential buildings requires a lot of supplies. If you remained a bit longer in the High Middle Ages to develop your great buildings, this should not be a problem. In my case, it was a statue of Zeus. The apartment houses then increase the population by 30%. Those who advance faster through the ages skip this step and keep the townhouses until they get colonial age buildings. This can be handled very flexibly. By the way, I completed the last High Middle Ages quest only after the research of the apartment house. Before replacing all residential buildings, I simply did not have the space to build these unnecessary 3 good production buildings, but I did, as this quest provides diamonds. If I receive a production building, example given in the guild expedition, like the brewery shown here, then I build it. But I mainly keep these wheat farms from the High Middle Ages and replace them by tobacco plantations in the colonial age. With the Academy, the Late Middle Ages provide a good cultural building. The city shown in the video has slightly more cultural buildings than usual, as I often don't get polishes on the beta server. Most players should be okay with less cultural buildings. Finally, the Late Middle Ages military buildings are constructed, and now the city looks much different. In the Late Middle Ages you can fight a lot. Beside the usual 7 provinces, there are another 7 provinces as a part of a bonus quest. Therefore, there will soon come another video about fighting in the Late Middle Ages.